Ever noticed how when money feels tight, even simple decisions suddenly start feeling heavier than usual? It's like your mind is constantly busy, even when you're trying to focus on something important. And instead of thinking clearly, you feel distracted, restless, and mentally drained without understanding why. So naturally, you start looking for something that makes you feel just a little bit better. Something easy, something quick, something that takes your mind off everything going on around you. And without realizing it, those small moments slowly begin shaping your daily decisions. You might sit down, planning to be productive, finally ready to focus and get things done. But after a few minutes, your attention drifts and it becomes harder to stay locked in. Almost automatically, your hand reaches for your phone, not even fully aware you're doing it. You tell yourself it's just for a moment, just a quick break before getting back. But that moment stretches longer, and your focus slowly disappears without you noticing the shift. Later, you realize time has passed, and the important things are still left undone. It's not that you don't care, because deep down, you actually want to do better. But it starts to feel like your actions don't fully match your intentions anymore. Even small spending decisions begin to feel harder to control in those moments. You might buy something small just to feel a bit of comfort or relief, and afterward, you sit there wondering why it keeps happening in the same way. Not because you don't know better, but because something deeper is influencing your behavior. What most people don't realize is that this has less to do with discipline than it seems. When financial pressure builds, your brain shifts into a state focused on reducing stress quickly. In that state, long-term thinking becomes harder and short-term relief starts feeling more important. It's not a conscious choice. It's your brain trying to make you feel safe again. So it naturally looks for things that can instantly improve your mood, even temporarily. That's where small pleasures start becoming much more attractive than they normally would be. Things like scrolling, food, or quick entertainment become easy ways to escape that pressure. They give your brain a quick dopamine boost, which temporarily reduces the stress you're feeling. And for a moment, everything feels lighter, like the pressure has finally eased off. But that feeling doesn't last long, and it slowly fades away without solving anything. When it fades, the same stress returns, sometimes even stronger than it was before. Now your mind is even tired, making it harder to respond differently next time. So without noticing, the same pattern starts repeating itself again and again over time. It becomes less about choice and more about how your brain reacts under pressure. And the more this continues, the more it starts to feel like your normal routine. Not because it's helping you, but because it temporarily makes things feel easier to handle, even if, in the long run, it slowly keeps you stuck in the same position. Think about a moment when money was tight and you had a lot on your mind. You wanted to focus, maybe work, plan, or figure things out more clearly, but instead your mind kept drifting, and staying focused felt harder than usual. So you picked up your phone, just to take a short mental break. That short break turned into scrolling longer than you originally planned to. Or maybe you decided to buy something small, just to lift your mood a little. In that moment, it felt harmless, like a quick way to feel better. But afterward, the situation didn't improve, and the pressure was still there waiting. Now there's slightly more stress and slightly less control than before that decision. And without meaning to, the same pattern quietly repeats itself again later. It doesn't happen because you're careless. It happens because your brain is overwhelmed. It's trying to reduce pressure, not realizing it's creating a cycle that continues itself. And until you see that clearly, it's easy to keep blaming yourself instead. So instead of blaming yourself, the better approach is to change what surrounds you daily. Because when your environment changes, your decisions naturally begin to shift without force. Small adjustments like reducing distractions can make a bigger difference than relying on discipline. Making certain habits harder to access gives your brain fewer chances to escape into them. At the same time, making positive actions easier helps guide your behavior in a better direction. This way, your decisions require less effort, even when your mind feels mentally exhausted. And as the pressure slowly reduces, your thinking starts becoming clearer again over time. Not instantly, but gradually, as your brain moves out of constant stress mode. So maybe it was never really about lacking discipline or not trying hard enough. Maybe it was the pressure quietly shaping your decisions without you fully noticing it. And once you understand that,
you can finally start changing things in a smarter way. Because when your mind becomes clear again, your choices begin to change naturally.